Charleston just got named America's favorite small city for the 14th time in the last 15 years. But here's the thing. More than 30 new people move here every single day, but most land in the completely wrong spot. I've helped over 5,000 families move to Charleston in the last 20 years, and today I'm breaking down the 10 most beautiful neighborhoods you could possibly choose in the greater Charleston area. Look, if you're moving here, you need to watch this video so you can choose the spots that actually fit before they're gone. Let's get started. All right, you have to start with historic downtown Charleston. Now, this isn't just one neighborhood technically. It's many different neighborhoods and lifestyles that all kind of share the same streets. The most prominent and the most famous is South of Broad. This is the highlight of all of Charleston. The architecture south of Broad is literally unlike anywhere else you're going to get in America. You've got Charleston single houses that are just one room wide with long piazza porches that face the street. And then you got federal style, Greek revival, Italianate, Victorian, and all those wrought iron balconies that are everywhere. Gas burning streetlights are still burning. The cobblestone sidewalks go back to the 1800s. Now, the reason it looks like it's 1850 is simple. There's a board of architectural review that was founded in 1931, and it protects every single inch of downtown Charleston. They reject anything that doesn't match the historic character, and I love it that way. How about price range? Price range south of Broad runs from $2 million just to get in, and then all the way up to $21 million, which is the highest end sale in all of Charleston, and we'll talk about that in a video coming soon. These homes rarely even hit the market, and when they do, they move fast because it is a prominent place to live. And if these really impress you, make sure you wait until the end of this video because the last two neighborhoods are on a whole different level, and you need to see them. I'll get to those in just a few minutes. But right next door to South of Broad, you've got the French Quarter. It sits just north of South of Broad, and it is definitely worth talking about. This is a historic district listed on the National Registry of Historic Places. The same Charleston architecture shows up here. Single-style houses, wrought iron details, colorful facades. There's a lot of culture that traces back to the Huguenots who settled here in the 1600s and 1700s. Price range in the French Quarter runs from $1 million for a condo and $5 million and up. The next spot downtown that I want to highlight is Harleston Village. Most of the homes date in the 18th and 19th centuries, and right in the middle of Harleston Village is Colonial Lake. And it is a beautiful lake with walking paths, and it's a downtown lake on downtown Charleston Peninsula. Price range runs from $600,000 to $4 million and up, so a little bit more affordable spot on the peninsula. Now, what do these three neighborhoods share that everything else in Charleston might not? It's walkability. You can literally walk to King Street shopping, walk to the best restaurants in the Southeast, walk to the Charleston Market, walk to the College of Charleston. You can walk to the grocery store. When you live downtown Peninsula Charleston, it is the one place in Charleston you actually don't need a car. The lifestyle living downtown is unmatched from walkability. Now, the median price for all of downtown Charleston is about $1.1 million. That's down roughly 11% from last year. So the market is settling back into a normal range after those pandemic spikes. But here's the thing. This area is for people who value authenticity over convenience. People who would rather walk 15 minutes to dinner than drive 5 minutes to a strip mall. That's what makes this place special. Well, there's a premium cost to live in a place like that. But before we move on, there's something that might help you. I work with people relocating to Charleston every day, helping them find neighborhoods that fit how they actually want to live. So if you're trying to figure out which areas might match your profile or your style's the best, I can walk you through the reality based on your situation. My contact info is in the description below, so please don't hesitate to reach out for anything Charleston related. Okay, now let's keep going. Speaking of authentic character, we're going to cross the Cooper River and head into the historic heart of Mount Pleasant. Just over the iconic Ravenel Bridge from downtown is Mount Pleasant, and the heart of Mount Pleasant is a neighborhood called Old Village. Old Village was laid out in 1803 by James Hibben, one of the early landowners in Mount Pleasant. And what's totally wild is that the grid of the neighborhood, the harbor views, and the village are still the same today as they were in the 1800s. Now, the architecture here is absolutely stunning. You've got homes dating back to the 18th and 19th centuries, and you can tell people have been taking care of these houses for generations. You've got Victorian houses restored to modern standards, and then you get waterfront views over the Charleston Harbor that make this place feel like something out of a storybook. And if you love this village charm, but want it blended with new construction and real new urbanist design, that's a neighborhood that's coming up that nails that balance. I'll show you that in just a minute. But now let's keep talking entry into Old Village. Usually to get into Old Village, it starts around $1.5 million. Restored historic homes typically land in the $2.5 million up to $7 million range. The homes with contemporary design might take you into the $3 million to $7 million range. And true waterfront properties are definitely going to start at $5 million and go all the way up to $15 million. It all depends on your view, the history, the lot size, and where you're located within the village. But here's the reality. You can't recreate 220 years of streetscape. You can't recreate the canopy of live oak trees or the village feel that was set centuries ago. People who want that intimacy over the suburban scale are willing to pay for the authenticity. And the limited inventory reflects this one simple truth. Once people move into Old Village, they don't want to leave. Now let's look at what happens when that same historic mindset meets island living. We're moving next to Sullivan's Island. Sullivan's Island is one of the most protected places in the entire Charleston area. 1 out of 4 homes on Sullivan's Island is historic. I'm talking about national registered districts and local historic districts, and it's all packed into an island that's only 3.5 miles. That level of preservation is actually stronger than what you would see even downtown Charleston. On Sullivan's Island, military history is everywhere. Now, here's what's neat about that history. Fort Moultrie is where the Revolutionary War actually went well for once. The fort's story stretches from the Revolution all the way through World War II. Fort Sumter is also just across the water, where the Civil War kicked off. You can see the old military buildings woven into the neighborhood fabric today. Now, the homes reflect that of the entire timeline. You've got early 20th century architecture from the 1890s through the 1920s, cottages with a lot of character, large porches, original details that have been maintained for generations. Sullivan's Island is far less commercial than the Isle of Palms, which gives it a more residential and more upscale feel than some of the other island communities in the Charleston area. It's why it's my favorite island community for people moving to Charleston and one of the most beautiful places in all of the Southeast. Then there's the beaches. They're wide, they're quiet, they're pristine, perfect for swimming and for being in the water. There's also turtle hatching, and it's a big deal on Sullivan's Island. So if you are a nature enthusiast, Sullivan's Island has you covered. It feels completely different from resort-style beaches that might be in Myrtle Beach or even a little bit south of us in Hilton Head. But let's talk about price. Entry to get onto the island usually starts around $1.8 million. Historic homes are going to fall between $3 million and $10 million. And if you want to get beachfront or on the intercoastal waterway where you have a boat along the water, you're going to see anywhere from $4 million up to $12 million. The architecture and the history and the preservation standards are all really high, and all of it absolutely shapes the value here on Sullivan's Island. Demand for historic and waterfront homes is extremely high. Here's the thing about Sullivan's Island. It's truly residential in a way that some of the other islands never will be. And it's because there are rental restrictions. You cannot have short-term rentals on Sullivan's Island. The shortest term you can rent on the island is 30 days. And typically, you don't even see that. If you're looking for sophisticated beach living with real history behind it, it is the place. It's quieter, it's more refined, and has more character than all the other island neighborhoods. But that sets us up with a fascinating contrast with a master planned island community that we're about to explore next that I personally love. The next most beautiful place in all of Charleston is Daniel Island. Daniel Island feels different the moment you arrive. This community has grown so much that today it has about 18,000 residents. Every day, more people are falling in love with this neighborhood. Maybe one of the reasons is the new urbanist style that you can see there. Architecture pulls from Charleston's historic neighborhoods, but it's new and it's intentional. You can see it in the wide front porches, working shutters, dormer windows, pitched roofs. It has narrow lots that make the streets feel very walkable. And there's a series of district neighborhoods inside the master plan like Daniel Island Park, and the waterfront. The amenities are what really define Daniel Island. You've got more than 25 miles of trails running through the entire community. There are 8 main parks covering hundreds of acres of green space. There's a town center perfect for biking with shops and services right within the island. And there's a family pool complex, or multiple, I should say. The waterfront is Daniel Island's newest development. It's all about that low country riverfront lifestyle and has a refined architecture and high-end amenities that still feel grounded in Charleston lifestyle. And stay with me because the last neighborhood on this list takes everything you've seen from the beaches to golf to luxury and puts it on an entirely new level. You're gonna wanna see that one. But first, let's talk pricing on Daniel Island. Single-family homes usually fall between $1 million and $3 million. Townhomes run from $600,000 to $2 million, and condos start in the mid 300s and go up to $3 million. Luxury properties, especially on Daniel Island Park, which is the most luxury section of the island, are going to go between $3 million and $10 million. You're going to find a mix of established homes and new construction. It's a market perfect for families. And compared to many other Charleston neighborhoods, there's good inventory on Daniel Island. And the demand is constantly growing, with another neighborhood called Point Hope, which is in Cainhoy and is kind of like an extension of Daniel Island. If you need a community that grows slowly and naturally over 50 years, it's not Daniel Island. But if you want everything built, organized, and functioning from the start, Daniel Island delivers. And when you take all of these and that new urbanist principles and move them 10 to 15 minutes closer to downtown, you get something more interesting. And that's what we're going to look at next. Okay, we cannot talk about the most beautiful neighborhoods in Charleston without talking about Ion in Mount Pleasant. Let me tell you, Ion feels like something that someone took from downtown Charleston's most beautiful streets and then rebuilt them 10 to 15 miles away, but with modern construction. And honestly, that was the whole idea from the very conception of Ion. Ion was developed in the late 1990s with one goal: recreate the charm, the scale, the walkability of historic Charleston, but make it new, intentional, and sustainable. The architecture mirrors downtown. It has big front porches, perfect for talking to your neighbors. Parks are woven throughout the neighborhood, and you get some amazing views with the small lakes and the water features that you can walk by. There are trails for jogging, walking, and biking. Ion also has a neighborhood center with shops, restaurants, and gathering places. There's a dock and a marina area with waterfront access and views of downtown Charleston. When you walk through Ion, it feels more like a village than a typical suburb. There's a laid-back southern vibe, but everything is designed with intention. Homes face the street, and the porches are so close to the sidewalk that it makes it easier to connect with your neighbors. It's all built around walkability and reducing the need for a car. Okay, let's talk pricing in Ion. Single-family homes typically run from $1.5 million to $5 million. Townhomes and smaller cottages are going to fall between $1.3 million and $2 million. Luxury properties, especially those with waterfront views, are going to be north of $5 million. Demand is consistently strong because buyers love the feel of Ion, and it's really close to downtown. This keeps pricing on the luxury tier. But here's the thing. Ion looked at historic Charleston and said, let's build that again, but new. And they pulled it off. You get the charm and the aesthetics without having to take on a 200-year-old plumbing or maintenance costs of a downtown home. It's the closest thing that feels like downtown Charleston. But now let's head back downtown, this time to a place that's north of the crosstown and is full of craftsman-style homes and authentic Charleston charm. Next up on our tour of the 10 most beautiful neighborhoods in Charleston is the Upper Peninsula of downtown. 60 acres of azaleas, camellias, and botanical garden. This is the Upper Peninsula, and it is your neighborhood park. I'm talking about Hampton Park. It's the center of the entire Upper Peninsula. It's the largest public park on the peninsula of Charleston. The whole space was designed in the early 1900s as a major civic park, and it still feels the same way today. It has the most impressive flower displays in Charleston. It has azaleas, camellias, and seasonal plantings everywhere. It also has long walking paths through landscape grounds. There's a pond right in the middle of this park. And beside the park, you have a quiet neighborhood called Hampton Park Terrace. It's full of historic homes from the early 1900s to the 1920s, and it's just a few minutes from the historic district of the lower peninsula of downtown. Price range in the Upper Peninsula ranges from $800,000 to $3.5 million. It's a little bit more affordable. And look, that $3.5 million number is extremely on the high end. Most buyers are landing somewhere between $800,000 and $2 million. but that's the top numbers that exist, and having 60 acres of blooming azaleas as your front yard is pretty rare. Then you've got Wagner Terrace. Most of it was developed in the 1910s and 1920s. Wagner Terrace was named after Captain F.W. Wagner, and he was a German wholesale grocer. This was one of the first residential communities planned in Charleston. You'll see homes that were also built in the 1930s, and they mix it up with Tudor homes and houses from the early 1900s. Wagner Terrace delivers it through those old oak trees and the original paved streets from the 1920s. Price range in Wagner Terrace runs from $700,000 to $3 million and up. Now, Upper Peninsula as a whole is going to see those kind of prices. It's a little bit more affordable than some of the other beautiful communities we've talked about because it's still in a transitioning state. I'm a big fan of Upper Peninsula downtown, and I think it's an area you can still find deals that are going to see appreciation in the years to come. The next place we're going to look at is going to blend that nature and city living, but it becomes even more noticeable because we're going to start to move to the west side of town. We're going to start this with Charleston's Country Club. Okay, let's look at the Country Club of Charleston. Here's the thing. The only private golf course on James Island that gives you true country club living, and it's only 10 minutes from downtown. It's not 45 minutes away, it's only 10. The neighborhood surrounding the Country Club of Charleston is exclusive, and it's an established community. You get impressive homes and a championship golf course running right through the neighborhood. Some properties look straight out over the Wapoo Creek. The lots are spacious, and yes, there are premium waterfront homes with creek views. This is a low-density living area. Large lots, established landscape, quiet, private, and very little commercial activity around you. And if you think this place feels established, wait until you see the neighborhoods that take historic characters so seriously, you'll swear that you time traveled to get there. We're going to get there in just a minute. Now, you can get homes in the Country Club of Charleston from $900,000 up to $2.5 million or more. Waterfront properties are definitely going to start at $2 million. Homes with views of the golf course definitely are going to start above $1 million. And here's what might surprise you. There is no mandatory HOA in this neighborhood, and the golf club membership is separate, but if you're not paying a massive monthly regime fee just to live there, it becomes a little bit more affordable. Now here's the part smart buyers pay attention to. You get the atmosphere of a community that would normally charge $2,000 a month in fees, but here your overhead is practically zero. And that's the value play. You're getting Wapoo Creek waterfront views without the Kiawah commute. That's a trade-off people who know the market understand immediately. If you want resort-style living without a long resort commute, this location is really tough to beat. And that's going to take us into my next favorite beautiful neighborhood, also located on James Island, and it's James Island's oldest waterfront community, Riverland Terrace. Riverland Terrace is special. Half of the neighborhood is surrounded by water. You've got the Wapoo Creek on one side with Elliott Cut on the other, and direct access to Charleston's inland waterway system. There's even a public boat landing right in the community. The streets here are something you have to see. You're going to find historic cottages that have been here for generations sitting next to larger waterfront estates that are new. There's flowering plants everywhere, beautiful native landscaping. And many of the homes in Riverland Terrace look over the Charleston Municipal Golf Course, so you also have green space within this community. Prices in Riverland Terrace are going to land between $1.1 million and $2 million. Waterfront properties are going to start at $2 million and go up to $4 or $5 million. Inventory of this neighborhood is always tight. Again, the beautiful neighborhoods in Charleston are in high demand. Maybe 10 homes could be on the market at one time. The waterfront homes are in especially high demand. This is something that attracts many people here, and it's the strong community feel that you get with Riverland Terrace. It has a very active association that hosts regular meetings and events. What you're really buying in Riverland Terrace is a mix you almost never see anymore. You've got access to boat landings just a few steps away from your front door, and there's historic cottages sitting beside waterfront estates. This kind of waterfront living feels real. It's old, it's rooted, it has a history that you can't fake with new construction. And this sets us up perfectly for the neighborhoods in West Ashley. And that's my next most beautiful spot in Charleston. West Ashley, close to downtown, is one of those places where you see a change of personality from block to block. We're going to start with Avondale. This area used to be called The Point. It went from an industrial pocket to one of Charleston's most vibrant, walkable neighborhoods. Today, it's full of local shops and restaurants that are very unique. You'll spot mid-century homes from the 1940s tucked under those canopies. You'll also find small cottages, colorful bungalows, and murals painted on the buildings. While it doesn't have direct river access, the layout makes everything feel connected. Avondale has kind of a funky, artistic vibe. There's independent restaurants, boutiques, coffee shops, people walking everywhere, and you get community events the whole year. Prices are more affordable in West Ashley than we've seen so far. They range from about $600,000 to $1.2 million. Historic homes are going to fall in that $400,000 to $800,000 range, while waterfront properties are going to be $2 million or more. The next neighborhood in this area is called the Crescent. This is West Ashley's premier address. Luxury homes, mature landscaping, and very quiet, very private feel. It's an exclusive community with views of the Wapoo Cut. Some homes have deep water access and private docks. The homes are traditional brick and lush foliage with oak trees and magnolias surrounding them. There's spacious lots and there's tons of privacy. Homes in this area are going to be $1.5 million to $3 million and up, and the waterfront homes could be up to $8 million. The golf course homes might be $1 million or more. The next neighborhood in this close area in West Ashley is Burnsdown. It is a beautiful community. The neighborhood grew in the 1950s and 1960s with a little over 300 homes. It's full of mid-century charm, mostly brick cottages with 2 to 3 bedrooms, but many are being increased in size and renovated. This area is quiet, everything is organized and clean, and all of it makes for the residents to feel really proud to call Burnsdown home. The best part is that you're close to restaurants, shops, and the West Ashley Greenway. That West Ashley Greenway is 10.5-mile long trail that's flat and easy and perfect for walking and biking. Prices in Burnsdown will start in the same kind of range that we saw in Avondale, $600,000 to $1 million. Overall, West Ashley's median price is $515,000, and that's up about 4.5% year over year. These three neighborhoods sit right next to one another, but they really attract completely different buyers. Avondale draws creative young professionals and people who want walkability without downtown prices. The Crescent is for buyers who are trading suburban sprawl for luxury and privacy. And Burnsdown brings first-time home buyers and young families that want value without feeling far from the city. Okay, last up, and number 10 on our most beautiful places in Charleston is the ultimate luxury barrier island experience, Kiawah Island. Now, our last stop on the 10 most beautiful neighborhoods in Charleston is Kiawah. And Kiawah is on a completely different level. There are 10 holes of oceanfront golf course that run along the Atlantic Ocean. There's more seaside holes than any other courses in the Northern Hemisphere, all inside a gated island community of 10,000 acres. The golf on Kiawah is amazing. It's world class. You have 5 championship golf courses, including the ocean course, and you have 2 private golf courses. Then you have the beaches. The beaches on Kiawah are incredible. You've got miles of wide Atlantic shoreline. East Beach and West Beach have their own feel. There's also Beachwalker County Park that gives public access, but most of the coastline is peaceful and uncrowded. Now, I've got to be straight with you. Kiawah isn't for everyone. It is 45 minutes to 60 minutes from downtown. It's a long commute, but for the right buyer, the lifestyle on Kiawah is unmatched. Now, the pricing also reflects the exclusivity. Kiawah is a gated community and it's guarded 24/7. The villas and the condos are going to start over $500,000, while single-family homes typically start near $2 million and can reach $20 million. Median for single-family homes is $3.1 million, and oceanfront homes stretch from $10 million to $18 million, while the oceanfront villas are going to start at $1.5 million and go up to $4 million. Golf course homes on Kiawah typically run from $2.5 million to $6 million, and houses with views of green spaces are going to be between $2 million and $4 million. This is the most expensive area in all of Charleston, and it is one of the most expensive resort communities on the East Coast. Demand on Kiawah stays strong, especially from second home buyers and retirees. Premium pricing follows oceanfront golf and anything with a protected natural view. But here's the truth. If you need to be downtown Charleston every day, Kiawah will wear on you. It's not meant for daily commuting. But if you want world-class golf, 10 miles of quiet beach, and luxury amenities, it's one of the most protected places in the Southeast. And Kiawah is about as good as it gets for that. Okay, that was the top 10 most beautiful neighborhoods in Charleston. And the homes that are priced right do move fast. The market's given you a bit more breathing room from 2023, but not much. We're still seeing less than 2 months of inventory in most of these neighborhoods. If you want to find the right Charleston neighborhood based on what actually matters to you and not just what shows up first on Zillow, reach out to me personally. Just email me at sales@mattoneilteam.com and I will walk you through exactly what each area offers, and it's going to be beyond just what you're going to see in the photos. I don't want you to miss out. And before you go, make sure you watch my next video on everything you need to know before moving to Charleston in 2026. The link is right here. All right, appreciate you watching, and we'll see you on the next one.